Hello, hello, and welcome back for more scouring salt and vitriolic vinegar down in the torturous tunnels and wicked warrens of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And I only mention the salt and vinegar thing because since the Corpse and the Hound update, I frequently find myself crusted with salt and swimming in vinegar. Also piss, but that's because I just finished a giant cup of coffee, not to, anything to do with the updates, just I gotta pee a little. The salt and vinegar, though, those I'm gonna have to pin squarely on the Corpse and the Hound update. I have to admit, not really a fan of some of the changes that have been made, and, I'm not gonna catalog all of them here because it's largely what I spent the entirety of last episode doing. But mostly what it all boils down to is just unintentional consequences. The developers are making some changes with the interest and the intent of balancing some of the in-game mechanics, which probably, in honesty, really did need a little fine-tuning. The game did feel a little easy on the back end. But like the web of alliances and treaties that wound up dragging all of Europe into World War I in 1914, the actual outcome of their changes is fast becoming an endless quagmire of grinding trench warfare, particularly when just starting a new run through a dungeon. But, it is still a work in progress with Darkest Dungeon, and perhaps my saltiness is just my initial reaction to being a little shell-shocked by some of the changes. Or perhaps this is exactly what Red Hook is shooting for, and then Dungeon is going to be nothing but ditches full of doughboys, gas masks, and trenchfoot from now on. I honestly hope that's not the case, but I, don't know why they would necessarily want to do that. But really, the only way to find out what the situation is on the Western Front is to saddle up a platoon and get them to work. So let's see if maybe I'm just the shell shock suffering, or if this is perhaps the way of the future. So let's grab a team here. Alright, let's go see what missions are on offer. We've got some options as far as team goes. The one thing we can't do really is an apprentice mission, which is a shame because that's sort of where I want to really get into the nitty gritty of, but we don't really have a team for it. On the plus side, we are probably going to be getting rid of a few of our, I don't want to say lesser gifted because it sounds mean, but lesser gifted guys. It's likely Garrett Jax is going to be going the way of the dodo. Very likely that Django Fett may also be saying adieu to the manor just so that we can build an apprentice team and get our Houndmaster into play. Haven't really got a chance to play with the Houndmaster much on camera yet. Done quite a bit of Houndmastering on stream, and I am liking the Houndmaster. But haven't really got, we don't really have the capability to make a team here. I suppose we could take the Townmaster on a dungeon above his rank. Do we have a team of level 4s that could maybe tow him through a dungeon? That would be interesting. You know what? I think we can. Very intriguing. If we can do that, let's see if we've got a mission that will be 1, worth doing, and 2, not terrifyingly deadly. We can't do a long mission. Oh, a short veteran mission would be almost perfect. We can't do a long mission with a rookie. He's going to get 20 stress just from walking in a dungeon. Actually, he might get 40 stress from walking in a dungeon because this is double overhead for Burrick. So it's got to be a short mission because stress relief is going to be a problem. On the plus side, the Houndmaster does have some self-stress relief, so he can help with that. This also has a Houndmaster item. Yeah, I think this is our winner. I think we do this one. So we're going to take Burrick. And this is not actually the final positions here. I'm just kind of trying to get a feel. I'd like to take Ron Weasley, but we can't really do Ron Weasley. Can't really take Katniss. We're going to need rank 4, guys. Bruinor I don't want to take, honestly. We could do Fagin and Murphy. I like those two. They'll also have the, they'll work well together as well, but we would need a healer to carry us through, and we don't have one. Nope. It's a short mission. What if we took Katniss Everdeen and just tried to power through it with Katniss's heals? They're not good heals. They are heals. What if we do a short mission and just try to power through it with overwhelming damage, Katniss's admittedly minimal healing ability, and just a bunch of food? You know what? I actually think we can make this work. It's a short mission. On anything beyond a short, I would not even consider this. But on a short mission, I think it's worth a shot. Alright, so we do need to do some upgrades before we do this. Karen and Fagin are good. Katniss, we're going to upgrade her arms and armor and skills. So let's go take care of that, and then we'll circle back. Little outlaw Josie Wales style. We'll leave initially, only to circle back at the end for the final act. Why is this locked? Hero Resolve level 5. I already have level 5 skills. How was that a thing? Oh, you know what? That's actually something I think they changed in the update. You can't upgrade your skills one level higher than... Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So we're coming at this with level 4 skills. I don't necessarily relish that. I suppose that means we can't also, likewise, can't upgrade her arms and armor, I'm gonna guess. I'm sure they probably did that as well. Yep, they sure did. Okay, so those two things are new. So we can't do any upgrades there. We can't upgrade poor Burrick at all. Alright then, let's do this. Now, I may be about to run into a swarm full of drakes here, full Leroy Jenkins style, but if that's the case, you know what? I don't necessarily feel too terrible about it. Let's make sure Burrick has the skills we want. He does. Good. Alright, so we're going to put Fagin in the front row, Murphy on backup. Fagin's got the trinkets we want. Murph, looking damn fine. I mean, not just, you know, I mean, Murphy's a fine-looking lady, don't get me wrong, but her trinkets also look good. Katniss Everdeen, not one to be outdone in the damn fine-looking lady department, because, say what you want about Jennifer Lawrence, but she's easy on the eyes. I gotta give her that. Alright, so this is our team. Let's provision it. We're gonna go way fucking overboard on this one. Way overboard, especially on food. Like, I'm gonna take 3 full stacks of food, because I assume we're gonna be eating all of it. This is a short mission. I'm going to bring 3 shovels instead of my customary 4. We're going to go way overboard on torches. Like 2 full stacks. You know what? We're also going to go way overboard on bandages and anti-venom. Good enough. Let's do it. So we're really spending like a sailor on shore leave here, and the ladies down in the red light district at the docks are going to be pleased to see us. Which I guess makes the caretaker... Since he's the guy who sells us these things, I suppose that makes him our lady love interest. Man, if you're a sailor on shore leave and you got off and went down to the Red Lantern District and said, all right, show me what you got, and then it was just the withered old, jacked up, fucked up caretaker, you'd be one really salty sailor. I gotta say, you'd be real disappointed. You'd be a salty sailor indeed. This dungeon layout is not fantastic, but we can counter some of its shitty layout by just serpentining through it and skipping this room, which is exactly what we're going to do. You'll note Burrick starting the mission off with 40 friggin' stress. That's fantastic. Love that mechanic. That's one thing I really don't like. I really don't like the fact that a level 1 dungeon gives you 20 stress if you're level 0. They need to cut some slack for the level 0 guy coming into his first dungeon. Because that means your first dungeon, the very first one you ever do in the game, you start with 2 of your characters, at a minimum, coming in and just starting out with 20 stress. The surprise is nice here. Alright, so we don't need heals yet. We don't really want to suppress. Let's just start working over the Enchantress and try and get her dead as quick as possible. You know, one thing I have not been upset with in the new update is the Arbalist. They're as stalwart as ever, and let's take a moment to talk about Burrick's abilities here. We got Hound's Rush, which we could use to do some damage here. Now, it lowers protection, which this guy doesn't have. So we're just looking at getting some damage out of this, which your attack does, 3 to 6, so it won't get to kill. Hound's Harry is good. It's a bleed that hits every target. I'm thinking we may have to Cry Havoc, though, for the stress relief. In fact, let's do that. We're going to Cry Havoc. We got some back from Burrick, that's fine. The reason I'm happy with the Cry Havoc, Murphy is going to kill that person, no problem. Taking him out, and... point blank shot leaves us with just 1 slime. That's all that's left in the party. We may beat him on a roll. We did. We actually might be able to kill this guy before he even gets a chance to go. And that's exactly the way that one panned out. So the surprise working out very nicely for us. Little bit of luck to start things off, which is good, because we're going to need as much luck as we can get bringing Burrick through this mission. It's not to, you know, say anything negative against Burrick. He was fine. Did a fantastic job raising the Fitz as well, I'd like to point out. And if you're unfamiliar with that character from literature, do yourself a favor, read Robin Hobb's Assassin's Apprentice. You'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did. The scouting is also very nice. 1 fight, 2 fight. We've got at least 3 fights between us and the end of the dungeon, and no way to camp. It's the lack of camping that I find a little problematic. I don't really think... it behooves us to take chances here. Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. Traps, Fagin should be almost 100% on traps. He's 80. I'm willing to trust Fagin with the 80%er. Burrick picking up some random stress, which is not good because even the random stress is actually a lot of stress for Burrick, as close as he is to the limit already. We're going to be using torches like crazy. We got to keep the light level as high as possible. We cannot at all afford to be fighting in the darkness. The map is very useful. This will give us specifically how many fights we have. Shit. 1, 2, 3. So we got to do 4 more fights before the end of this dungeon. And I got to point out, they really have upped the occurrence of hallway fights as well as room battles. In the Corpse and the Hound update, you just fight more. It's not only are the fights more difficult, you simply have more fights. The hallway fights are a much more common spawn. This is bad. A Blighted Giant could put Burrick on death's door in a single swing. This is very bad for us. On the plus side, we can suppress. The dodge is very unfortunate. Alright, so how do we want to deal with this? The bleed does us almost no good. We could go dog-on-dog action, and I don't want to wind up getting prosecuted like Michael Vick for a dog fighting ring. You know what? Let's go for... The bleeds are not useful. It's either... Yeah, you know what? Let's just Hound's Rush. Let's do some damage where damage can be done. We do get a small debuff from that. Lowers his protection. Protection not really useful. Now, this is a problem. If we have our Arbalest taking a lot of damage, that's a bit of a sticky issue for us because our Arbalest can't heal herself. That dodge is most unfortunate. Alright, so let's see what the Blighted Giant does. He's going to poison spores. That's not too bad for us, actually. The Blight is less good, but that's okay. Alright, so let's get a mark on this guy. We need our Arbalest to do as much damage as we can, and this will enhance everyone's damage, not just our Arbalest. Fagan's going to dash forward so we can get a point-blank shot. Burrick is just going to lick his wounds. He can keep pace with his own damage this way. I'd like to have him using Cry Havoc a little, but it may not be in the cards. Keeping him alive is more important than keeping his stress levels low. If we need to, we can always send Burrick to the brothel and let him hoard up for a few days after the end of the mission, and everything will be fine. That corpse is actually kind of in my way. It's so much in my way, I'm actually going to shoot it. I am going to point-blank shot this corpse. I hate wasting a 47 damage critical. You never miss. You shot a corpse, you fucking braggart. Is that really something to be boasting about? I hit a corpse that was lying on the ground. It was a fantastic shot. That really doesn't seem like it's worth boasting about, pal. We got 8 damage bleed on that guy for 3 rounds. That's a pretty good stack. This does kind of showcase one of my, I don't want to say complaints, but one of my criticisms of people who think that dot damage is fantastic, and it's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but this guy has a ton of health. His base health is 99. He has almost 100 health, and this thing is still only going to tick once because we're just going to kill him. The problem with huge stackable dots is monsters in Darkest Dungeon don't live long enough for those stackable dots to ever actually deliver their damage. That's the majority of the problem. It's one of the reasons why I still think dot-based classes, or classes at least that have exclusively dot-based damage, like the Plague Doctor, and to a lesser extent the Grave Robber, it's one of the reasons why I think they're just poor choices. By the time you get a monster loaded up with enough dot damage that it's going to suffer a fatal wound, fight's already over and somebody else has killed it by just hitting it with a blunt instrument. By and large, at any rate. So we need more torchlight. We got to keep it high. I bought extra torches, and damn it, I'm gonna use them. Burrick's stress level is a little higher than I'd like, and we have at least 3 fights to go. This could go exceedingly badly for us with this crone. Alright, the crone has got to die. We've got to make the crone be dead as quickly as we can get her dead. Curse of Vulnerability. Nice dodge from Burrick, actually. We're gonna go for the Great Shot Blast. That was not what I meant to do at all, because now the crone remains... Oh, I really completely boned myself there. Confusion Spores are not terrible. Oh, thank you, Confusion Spores, for getting me out of my own pickle. I had basically fucking shit in my own bed, and you have completely gotten me out of it by allowing me to Iron Swan this bitch. Thank you very much, Blighted Giant. Blighted Giant, turncoat team right there. He's fighting for the wrong side. I appreciate it. Sincerely, I do. Do we want to heal here? I think we're better off marking the Giant, trying to kill him. Having him be dead faster is less healing that we'll need, ultimately. Little Rabid Rush for Katniss. Katniss picking up rabies. You know, rabies, not really a problem for Katniss Everdeen. It's really not. A little bit of Grape Shot Blast doing some okay aggregate damage. Let's Hounds Rush this guy. There's a kill for Burrick. Good. No stress relief? No stress relief. Probably shouldn't have asked for that. I mean, ask for the world. Then again, they always say, you know, don't ask for the world. But if you want the world, how are you going to get it if you don't ask for it? I mean, the world is not enough. Clearly, James Bond and the band Garbage taught us that the world is not enough. But if you don't ask for the world, how the hell do you ever expect to get it? I mean, nobody's just going to walk up and go, hey, man, you want a copy of the world? I'll hand it to you on a silver platter. That's not going to happen. If you want the world, at the minimum, you're going to have to ask for the world. Little self-healing here. We'll have Burrick lick his wounds. He and the Pooch staying in fine shape. Burrick's actually doing okay. He's holding in. He's hanging in there. He's only gained a total of 2 stress so far. Tree Branch Smackdown. So kind of hoping we get a dodge there. That didn't really do anybody any favor. I was going to have Katniss Everdeen. Well, I may still. So I was going to have Katniss go for the heal here. And I am going to. I wasn't expecting to get another chance. I was figuring this guy would be dead. You know what? Let's open a vein. And we can kill him with bleed damage that way. Maybe right here for Burrick to cry havoc, get a little stress relief, perhaps. Alright, so picking 3 of it back means Burrick is down 1 stress from when he entered the dungeon. It ain't great, but it's a gain. I'll take it. Positive is positive. Never look a gift horse in the mouth and other such platitudes, euphemisms, sayings, colloquialisms, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, blah, 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 blah. One thing I would like to point out about Darkest Dungeon, the Corpse and Hound update here. Since the update, Hellions have been fucking spot on. They're goddamn amazing. I got nothing bad to say about the Hellion. The Hellion is actually the best they've ever been and probably the most useful they've ever been. So we're gonna eat all of the food. And yes, I'm eating this food even though it only heals Burrick for 1. I'm still gonna do it. Your anti-venom, we'll check it out. Try and recoup some of the losses from this mission, because we are going to be operating at a loss, so... Try and get a little of that back, at least. We should have a clear hallway to the end, because we have scouted this with maps, so we know exactly what we're in for. Alright, good. Let's burn 2 torches. We're going to max our light level. 100%, max our chance for surprise, minimize our chance to be surprised. Okay, this one's where it's going to start. I mean, this is going to be the one that tells the tale. This is where it's going to start getting ugly. 8 damage is less than I would have liked. We got to go for the Iron Swan. Beautiful. All right, one of the stress units is down early. That's good. Eldritch Pull could be real bad for us here. Katniss Everdeen will not be moved. I think we go for the shot. We need the stress-causing units down. We got lucky in that they went for the Eldritch Pull. There's a case to be made here for going for the AoE bleed. These guys have pretty high protection. Alternatively, we could Hound Rush and give them penalty to their protection. Let's lower that. We'll go for the debuff, actually. All right, Fagin taking a groping swipe. Some damage not insurmountable. Okay, these guys are just going to pile it all on Fagin, then. Stressful incantation on... Oh, that was a huge dodge, Burrick. You are the man, sir. You are the man. We got to start healing. I would love to just kill the Enchantress and take him out, but we have minimal healing here. We're going to need to focus what heals we do have where they can be best used. You know what? We got a breakthrough here. That actually came out with solid aggregate damage for us. That was the right move. The groping swipe from Murph. Murph can take it. You know, you might be able to get a kill with a Hound's Rush. Beautiful! Burrick! Not only is the newbie staying in there with the tough crowd, he's actually contributing. He's not just holding his own. He's chipping in, too. A little more heal for Fagin. Let's go for the kill here. 12 damage is going to get us close. Alright, Fagin will get us the rest. Oh, Fagin, you shorted it. Burrick, you also shorted it. Alright, so Fagin's taking a groping swipe. Only 5 damage, not the end of the world. We can actually patch that up. +1, because we got the stacking heal buff. And there we go. Alright, so thus far, we're okay, and we're just 1 fight away from the end of the dungeon. And you know what, Burrick? Drink that holy water. We're gonna burn that torch. We don't need deeds, we need busts and we need crests. This thing is also a complete piece of trash. We should probably throw it... it's worth 750 gold. You know what? Let's eat food. We'll feed everyone as much food as they can possibly eat. We're gonna stuff them to the gills. And then we'll take the deeds. Even though we don't really need the deeds, I'm still going to take them. We don't need the deeds. I mean, it's like Mr. Deeds. Nobody needed that guy. But, I mean, he wasn't terrible to have around. I mean, Jimmy Stewart's all right. Or was that Cary Grant? Maybe that was Cary Grant. Either way, Cary Grant's alright too. I mean, Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant, arguably Adam Sandler, but while I'm not really picking on Adam Sandler, you know, he makes movies because his movies make money. People go see them, so I can't fault him for trying to make a buck. There's nothing wrong with that. Even if I don't necessarily think that all of his movies are fantastic. Some of them I really like. Some of them are, I think, kind of pieces of shit. But they make cash, and I don't fault a man for trying to make a living. He gets to go hang out with his friends on vacation and make a fat load of cash. So, you know, all things considered, I suppose Adam Sandler is capitalism epitomized. But, the Adam Sandler version of Mr. Deeds? Yeah, you're not fucking Cary Grant, or Jimmy Stewart, whichever one it actually was, because I don't remember. But you're no Cary Grant, and you're definitely no Jimmy Stewart. Actually, if you told me I had to pick between which I liked more, Cary Grant or Jimmy Stewart, it would actually be a somewhat challenging choice. I like them both. Alright, so some solid aggregate damage. They're going to mark Murphy, which is good for us. The 0 damage is also nice. We're going to go for a little bit of suppression. We're going to try and give these guys as much debuff as we can. And in this case, we're absolutely going to go for the AoE bleeds. They resisted them almost categorically. Well, son of a bitch. Alright, so another mark. That's good. I would rather be marked than blighted, actually. The mark does give these guys a better chance to hit and does increase their damage slightly. But Murphy's a trooper. She can take it. 11 damage is all we got out of that. Wow. Alright, I would have expected more damage from the Iron Swan, but that's okay. We're going to keep suppressing. Candace Everdeen going to keep everybody's heads down with a big, giant hail of arrows. Going to let Burrick do his thing with more bleeds. Not really stacking them up there, but it is worthwhile noting that Burrick, his bleed attack is going to be very suboptimal here. He's rank 0, so his bonus is tiny. He should be theoretically with a rank 4 or 3 or 4 skill in this dungeon, so his bleed chance should be on the base skill quite a bit higher than it actually is. So the fact that he's getting resisted a lot is not really surprising at all. Fine hit from Murphy there. Alright, Fagin, let's see what you can do. Can you finish this off with a little bit of point-blank shot for us? We kind of need you to finish it off with a little bit of point-blank shot, or grape shot blast, rather. And we got most of the way there. Alright, so Burrick taking quite a bit of damage. We're going to have him drink this anti-venom just to cure that. We're going to have him cry havoc. Actually, Burrick is the only person with stress. That got us literally nothing. I like the fact that we have 0 stress. With the exception of Burrick, they've been concentrating all their stress attacks on Burrick. Hell, maybe taking a rank 0 guy into the dungeon is the trick on a short. You can concentrate all the stress attacks onto one person. Then again, we have had our light level basically maxed in every fight we've been in, so the monsters have not been critically us, which seems to be key. Maybe that's part of the problem I've been having. I'm getting criticaled a lot by monsters, and it has been a little problematic. Maybe that's the solution, is just keep your torchlight insanely high. We want these busts. We need busts at this point. So let's drop... Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll use that and take the busts. Now, we can go for a freebie room here, and I think we should. I mean, we got a shovel here. We might as well use it. So let's dig up this shallow grave. What do we got? Some extra treasure. All right. 500 gold. Well, we'll trade any of this stuff for 500 gold, because otherwise we're not going to use it. So we'll just take the cash. That's it. We're done. Oh, we got to go to this last room because we got to explore it. So never mind. We do need to continue on. I was ready to bail out of the dungeon, but we're actually not quite there yet. There we go. As soon as we enter this room, though, bailout becomes an option. No fighting in here. This room has been scouted. Dungeon is over. Let's get the hell out of here. All right, so Burrick's first mission actually pretty successful. He showed remarkable resilience in the face of overwhelming opposition. He really did. Looking good. And I'm thinking super high torchlight may be part of the new meta. Maybe that's one of the way they're hoping to counter some of the enemy criticals, is just keep your torchlight super, super high. That does have some negative connotations, though, for overall dungeoneering. One, it takes up an inventory slot. Two, just a higher base overhead. But abundant cash at the end of the game was one of the problems the developers cited as something they wanted to try and adjust. We get a lot of cash there, actually. 9k. That probably paid for the mission. The heirlooms, honestly, are more important. And most important is actually just the Resolve EXP pickup here for Burrick. And I'm getting to the point where I actually hate to see these things at the end of missions, because so frequently you get some kind of fucking debilitating disease. +3 to range skills is actually pretty good. That replaced steady. We may lock that in on Katniss. It's worth locking in. +3 critical to ranged is pretty strong. So Ron Weasley no longer has the runs. Oh, so we did cure multiple diseases. So it must be you cure one disease with a chance of curing multiples, I guess, is what happened with Florence Nightingale there. We do need to send Katniss Everdeen in, which sucks because the A-team of Ron and Katniss and, well, I don't know as the A-team is a thing anymore. I want to cure bad humors and I want to keep rabies, which means that this will be the one time I cure 2 when I don't necessarily want to cure 2. Ron, do you have any other diseases that need to go? Nope, Ron is okay. Bruenor has griping in the guts, which is kind of shitty. I mean, I'm assuming if his guts are griping, he probably has some kind of intestinal issues, which tend to express themselves by explosive bouts of diarrhea and other gastrointestinal ailments. I mean, he's probably farting at least. I think guts griping probably, I mean, literally what other could it be than a fart? I mean, if your guts are making noises. I suppose it could be belches. Uncontrollable belching, I guess. Just checking to see who has diseases we want to get rid of. Fagin has bad humors, which arguably is probably our next priority, so let's get rid of that. Alright. And Katniss is already in. That's okay. I would really like to lock in her critical ability. That's quite good. Let's hold off on you. Sir Roderick. Natural hitter's real good. Clutch hitter, eh. I do like balanced. I also like Manslayer. Probably none of those really merit locking in at the moment, however. Faded is really good. I kind of want to lock in Faded. Then again, I kind of want to take these guys out on our next mission, too. Faded, we definitely want to lock in for Halfcock Jack. At some point. I think this probably is going to be our team in the next... Well, no, you know, we might be better off with Candy Jade, actually. The other advantage is Candy isn't a legend. Yeah, let's hold off on that. So if we need... Yeah, you know what? Let's have Roderick Usher. Let's have him... You know what? Let's just hold off on it altogether. Let's see if anybody has a quirk we need to get rid of. Let's focus on getting rid of the negative. Stress Eater I hate, but it's so expensive to get rid of at this point. Bruenor we're gonna keep. Automatonophobia really kind of needs to go. Yeah, let's do that. We'll get rid of that one. Autonoma... I can never say that word right. If I try and pronounce that word 10,000 times, I'm going to get it wrong 10,000 times. Django Fett, I'm pretty sure, is going to get fired, so I'm not really going to spend any cash working on Django. I have a very strong feeling Django is probably going to go the way of the dodo. None of... You know, I wouldn't mind any of those getting locked in, so I don't want to get rid of them. Witness I'm comfortable with. Pyromania. Paranormania. Neither one of those is terrible. Deadly's really good. That might be worth locking in. Hop Frog. No, I guess okay. So I guess we're okay. We should definitely lock something in then. Somebody should get something locked in. So if we're going to take our next mission and we're going to do Candy, Lucy, Jack, and probably Randy. That would mean we could do Roderick or Madeline. If either one of them has something we want to lock in, let's get it locked in. I think Faded on Madeline Usher really should be our go-to pick here. So let's grab that. 3,750 gold to lock that in. That is a fortune. But, well, if it's a fortune that keeps her alive, then it's a fortune well spent. Burrick did pick up some manner of club or something. We should probably just equip it. We actually have 2. So let's give him... Oh, you can't do 2 of the same trinket anymore. That's a new thing they fixed in a patch. Since we're only going to have 1 Houndmaster then, and we've already got that equipped, let's just sell the extra. There we go. Extra 1,500 gold. And that's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. If you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comments section. Of course, your support really does mean a lot to us, especially as I trudge through these salt-encrusted times. It really does help keep me going. And if you'd like to see all of my salt-encrusted times, you might consider subscribing as well. Of course, we post new episodes of Darkest Dungeon every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now, however, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.